Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. In this video I'm going to show you exactly how you can enrich your knowledge when it comes to geopolitics. It's mainly for beginners in this field. So I'm going to show you first my level in the geopolitics, then I'm going to test some tools with you to see how you can enrich your knowledge in this specific sector. So first I'm going to use a website which is called Gapminder. This website can help you to get or to solve tests which is regarding more than one field. It's not only geopolitics, it has many other fields, but we are going to use Gapminder in just geopolitics so that we can identify our level and so we can start from this specific point. You can see that it has this text written you are probably wrong about. This is kind of like a catchphrase to give you like an insight or an introduction that you are going to solve a test and that you may not get this test correct. We have all these fields that you can choose from, so I'm going to choose let's say we have global collaborations. This is related to geopolitics, extreme poverty as well, domestic work. We have global hunger, education quality. We have migration, we have economic growth. We have international conflicts. So I'm going to choose migration, for example. And now you will be redirected to solve a test so that you can know your level. It's something like a placement test. So let's solve this test and see what is our level. So it starts by saying in 1990, 3% of the world's population lived in a different country than where they were born. What is that share today? Currently, we know that most people are now tending to emigrate and tend to travel to different countries based on your career, your job opportunities, and where you want to live. Earlier, people just lived in the place where they were born or where they lived with their families, but now this percentage has increased. So I'm going to pick the 14%. So this is wrong. This is the first question. And now it will redirect you to the explanation. So now you can see that the explanation is that, as I said exactly, most people think that everyone is on the move, all people are living in different countries. However, this is only fake news because in reality most people stay in their country of birth. So the correct answer is A, and you can get an explanation to or insights to the question and the answer, so you can see the results based on more detailed illustration. So basically 88% of the people get this question wrong. You can see that these countries have like these insights where they have some percentages that you can understand more about this question. So I'm going to solve another question, then I'm going to tell you why exactly I started my video with this website. So let's just pass this question and go to the next one. What share of Europe's population are migrants? We all know that Europe has almost one of the highest percentages of immigrants after America. So I'm going to pick something high like this, 22%. So again, it's wrong. And now it will show you the exact explanation of why it is wrong and what is the percentage of people that got this question wrong. So around 12% of the European population are living outside the country they were born in. So this was the second question, and again I got it wrong. Why I'm doing this? Because I wanted to tell you that I am a person who is not who doesn't have like this huge amount of information when it comes to geopolitics. I'm interested in it, but I don't have that amount of information that I can use to solve a quiz or a test like this. However, I'm going to show you a tool That is going to help me to solve many questions regarding geopolitics, although my level is not high, because as you have seen, I have got the first two questions wrong in the first place. But now I'm going to use 10 questions that I derived from ChatGPT. These are the questions, and I'm going to use a website which is called ourwordindata.org so that we can solve these questions, although I don't have what it takes to solve them on my own. So before starting to answer, you can see that our word in data have this ribbon on the top. If you click on browse by topic, you will be able to access different topics that you can get different shorts from. So for the first question here is saying which country has the highest military expenditure in the most recent year available. So I'm going to search for something related to military. So I'm going to choose violence and war since it's related to military. And now I'm going to use military personnel and spending. And by the way, guys, I'm not sure if our word in data is going to solve all these 10 questions. I'm just trying it. It's just a total honest review. I'm not marketing to this website, and I don't have any benefit marketing to it. And of course, frankly speaking, I don't know if it's going to work or not. So let's see now. You can read like this introduction that can help you enrich your knowledge about military, and here you can see that we have this military spending as a share of GDP 2025. We can use this one, or you can use this military spending shorter term data from SIPRI. So I'm going to click on this one, and now the question was which country has the highest military expenditure. So I'm going to use this chart to identify the answer to this question. So I'm going to check the ones with these darkest colors. If you just left your mouse or your cursor out, you can see that it's just a colored map. But if you went to any of these legends, you will be able to see the exact selection that our word in data is trying to show you. So I'm going to select this one, and you can see that the highest one is, I think, America. This is America. So I'm going to click on select countries, and here in select countries you can also see them sorted based on descending order regarding which one has made the highest expenditure or the highest spending from the top to bottom. But you can see that Egypt here is in the beginning or in the start, although it's not the highest one, but because it's my location, this is why we have this cursor sign, because this is my current location, and this is why it makes it like on top. However, just ignore this first result if you saw the sign and take the one below it. So if you selected the United States, you can see that it will mark it in here and tell you how much it spends over military. You can also check the second one, which is China, so that you can compare between the first place and the second place. So basically the first place, which is America, have spent $929 billion on military, while China has spent like 1/3 of this amount. So now we've got the answer to the first question, which is the United States. Let's see if it's going to be able to solve the other questions. So it says which country has the largest share of global GDP today. Let's head back to our website. So this topic is related to economics, I think. So I'm going to head to browse by topic and search for economics. Economic development, I think this one is what we are searching for. Then here you can see we have other results. So I'm not sure, but let us choose trade and globalization or economic growth. Let's choose economic growth, for example, and see if we have what we are searching for in these results. So if I searched for GDP in here, yeah, we got here GDP per capita, World Bank, GDP per capita as well, long run data in Consultant International, and we have some other results. So I'm going to choose this first one, for example, but it's for 2024. I don't believe we have something newer. This one is the newest one, so I'm going to just depend on it when it comes to the data, and I'm going to again select this part, and you can see that this choice has more than one selection. We have the United States, we have Canada, we have, I think, a part of Russia, we have Saudi Arabia and Australia, I think we have a part of Brazil. So I'm going to go to select countries in here to see it more clearly. So you can see that the top here is, I will ignore these first two results as we agree, because we have this sign next to them, which means that these are only placed here because of my current location. But when it comes to the highest one, you can see that Singapore is the highest country, and the one below it is Luxembourg. So after selecting these two countries, if I choose to zoom to selection to know where they exactly are, I will land to somewhere like this, and I will get lost in searching for the two countries. So it's better for you not to do this step, but it's better to select country by country so that you can identify where it exactly lies. So I will clear this selection, then choose Singapore alone. Then I'm going to exit and choose zoom to selection. And now you can see this tiny place is Singapore in here. And if you want to know more details about the GDP for Singapore, you can head to this line chart or any type of charts from these three charts, so that you can know the GDP of this specific place or this specific country with time. So you can see how it increased and decreased over time. You can also access more charts like slope chart, bar chart, and this chart. I don't know what this is, to be honest, but let's try it. Wow, this seems nice. It compares Singapore with the other countries when it comes to the GDP. So now I'm going to head back to map, and of course you can access the table so that you can access these countries not on ascending or descending base, but on the alphabetic base. You can also click on 2024 so that you can sort them based on the GDP from top to bottom, or you can just choose to sort them in alphabetical order. So from this choice, now we know that Singapore is the highest or the largest share of GDP today. So I'm going to write Singapore, but to be honest, the chart that we accessed was old chart. It was from 2024. So I'm going to search on GDP here to make sure that I access the most recent chart on our Word in Data. So I got these results, and some of them are old, other are new, so I'm going to check the data. This one is from, I think, 2021, so it's even, no, it's from 2024. So I can see that all this data is just old. There is nothing that includes 2025. And since today we are in 2026, so this is very old data. So this is a drawback that I have seen in our Word in Data so far, is that not all topics are up to date, because wait a minute, now we have this one in 2025. This one is more recent, but it only talks about Singapore, so still not what we are searching for. So basically this chart that we accessed was the most recent chart, and this is a drawback since this topic only had the most recent chart in 2024 and not 2025 or 2026. So we can just eliminate 2026 since the year is not accomplished yet, but we need something as recent or as updated as 2025. So when it comes to GDP, we have written Singapore, but this data is not updated. Heading to the next question, which is which country is the largest exporter of goods in the world? Let's head back to our wording data. So again, I'm going to browse by topic. So this topic I think is economic as well because it's exportation. So I'm going to head to, let's choose economic development again. Then let's choose trade since it's exporting. And now let's see if we have any updated data about the exported goods. So I'm going to search for the word export. We have this export data, but it doesn't show more than one country. I need something which shows all countries. So let's keep searching. Exports by continent of destination. So this is exporting to, not exporting from. This is not what I'm searching for. So we have some countries over here. Value of exported goods as a share of GDP. Total value of exports divided by GDP expressed as a percentage. So it has extra information that we don't need, which is the GDP part. So we have here trade as a share of GDP. Still, sum of exports and imports of goods and services divided by gross domestic product. This is still like more broad, or like a broader content of what we are searching for. We are just searching for exports of good. So we have value of exported goods and services. This is exactly what we are searching for, but it still is not updated since it's 2024 and not 2025. So I'm going to check this chart. I'm going to it's a line chart, so it's basically easy to see, but we can also go to the map chart so that we can get exactly to where we were before. But I'm going to look at the line chart because it's easier to read. So we have the United States clearly the highest country when it comes to exports. It exported, it has like exports of value $2.5 trillion and even more. So if we clicked on here, you can see exact value. It's $2.6 trillion for United States. And the second place goes to Germany, which is $1.62 trillion, which is less than the United States by almost $1 trillion. It's a huge gap. You can also see how it got developed from this play button, where you will be able to see how it progressed. United States started from 1970, and since then it has been on the top of the other curves. So we have the answer. Yes, it's not updated as we wanted, but still it's like It's not a common sense that Germany is going to make up for this $1 trillion in just 1 year. So implicitly, it's understood that United States is still in the first place, which means that the answer to this question is also the United States. So heading to the next question, which is, which country has the highest CO2 emissions per capita? So I'm going to head back to browse by topic, then choose energy and environment, I think, then choose CO2 and greenhouse gas emissions. And now let's search for data or charts. Annual CO2 emissions by world region. So I think this is what we are searching for. And I can see that it comes to 2024. So this is an ideal chart. So you can see that the first one is the international aviation, but this is like an entity, it's not like a country. And you can also see that it gets like continents, not countries. But here the question needs a country, so I need to search for a different chart, I think. If I went to the table and I chose to sort them based on the emissions, yeah, we can see that the top CO2 emission is China, but when I come to the area, it's not very clear that China is the highest, because I have four results first, which is the international aviation and international shipping. This is like an industry. I have Oceania, which is I think a continent, and I have Asia, which is a continent, but the first country is China. So basically, when it comes to countries, China is the one with the highest CO2 emissions. You can also see that in 2024, China is producing about 12.29 billion, but I'm not sure what is the unit. I don't know what T represents, to be honest. So it means that China is almost, but when we get like a qualitative representative of these numbers, you can see that China is 12.29 and India is 3.19, which means that between the first and the second position, China is 4 multiples what India produces when it comes to CO2 emissions. So the answer to this question is going to be China. So the next question is going to be, which country has the largest total population in the world? So I'm going again to head back to browse by topic. Now you know the steps, and I'm going to choose population and demographic change. Then the question was total population, so I'm going to choose population growth. But this is gonna like count the growth itself, not the absolute numbers. But let's see what it will offer. So I'm going to go to charts, births and deaths per year. So this is not like an absolute number. And here we have population. This is good. So I'm going to start this one and see which country has the highest population. It groups them by continent, not by countries, and even if we went to table, I think it's going to count them based on the country, the continents. I think this one, let's click on it. So it's basically this arrangement now. You can see that the world population in 2023 was 8.1 billion person, and you can see that the top continent was Asia, but I don't think it mentions the top country, it only mentions continents. So when it comes to countries, the first one which is visible to me is India, and it's higher than China by a small or a minor number. It's like the number is in millions. It's like 12 million individual. So I think India was the highest, with the country with the highest population in 2023. And if we went to maps, you can see that the countries with the 1 billion are indeed India and China. If we selected countries and we chose India, you can now see by zoom to selection that this is India in here, and this is the amount of population in it. And you can see that also India is smaller than China. So basically this huge amount or this huge number of population is also on a smaller area, which means that India is substantially more crowded than China. So going back to our file, this country is going to be India. Now going to the next question, which is, which country has the highest number of people living in extreme poverty? Now you know the steps, so I'm going on top, choose to browse by topic. Then let's see population, I think. No, I don't think it's here. Let's see economic development and poverty. Yeah, this is it, I think. I'm going to choose poverty. Then let's head to charts. Share of population living in extreme poverty. This is exactly what we are searching for. So you can see that the highest amount of poverty is like in Africa, and there are even places with 100% of poverty level, which means that all the individuals or all the population is living in poverty. This is very difficult to imagine, to be honest. So if I clicked on this 100, no, there is no 100%, but when it comes to 90, we have like two countries which are, I think, Mozambique and Congo. So if I choose select countries from here, you will find that the top country when it comes to poverty is Congo. 85% of people are living in poverty there. This is extremely hard to imagine, and I hope that these people get the aid and the help they deserve. So when it comes to answering our question, it's going to be Congo. And as we said before, you can go to select countries and choose this country, then click on zooming to know where it exactly exists on the map. You can also go to the line so that you can see how its level of poverty is changing. So in 2004, it was even 95% of people living in poverty in Congo. So this 85% was even not the highest. You can also see from the table the alphabetical order, and you can also order based on each year. So in 1963, you can see that the highest when it comes to poverty was I wanted to see also the lowest when it comes to poverty. So it was basically like China, 0%. This is spectacular, to be honest. And in this percentage, so basically you can see that China is the country with the lowest poverty level, and there are some other countries with 0% of poverty in them. When it comes to France, we are starting with 0.1, which is still can be taken as 0%. These countries are amazing. So they are like golden destinations to travel. But I don't know about this statistic because we have countries like Iraq. I don't think 0.5% is reasonable when it comes to Iraq. So I'm going to go to the country and region, and I'm going to sort them in alphabetical order again. Then I'm going to sort the data which only exists like fully in this table. I don't think this table is reliable because you can see that some countries have like no data at all, so I don't think it's reliable to take information from. And this is population, it's not this is like full population, it's not people living in poverty. So going back to the map, I think here you can see the most accurate results. And if you want the 0% to 3%, you can see that it's either because these countries are actually countries living in luxury, or they are just countries that have no data available. This is why it's giving 0%. But if you want something which is more reliable, you can see the 3 to 10%, because this is gonna give you like valid data in this chart, because these countries might not even have like data inserted in them. As we have seen in the table, we had some countries with no data at all. This gives an explanation of why there are some countries with 0%. Not because these countries are so luxurious, but because there is no data inserted in this chart regarding these countries. So if you want something more accurate in this chart, head to the 3 to 10%, and it will give you the lowest amount of poverty in countries all around the world. So here you can see that we have, I think, Latin America, and we have India, and we have like Indonesia and the Caribbean. This is what I got from here. You got like some places in Latin America, and in Mexico you had like India and Indonesia. These are the places with the lowest amount of poverty there. So answering this question, the country is Congo. Going to the next question, which country has the largest refugee population hosted within its borders? So let's head back to see. I'm not sure where I'm going to find this, but let's see the demographic change, for example. Migration, maybe. Then I'm going to head to charts, refugees by country. So I think this is gonna show you like where they migrated from, but I want the opposite. I want the opposite. I want the countries where they migrated to. This one is the same by country of origin, born in another country. I think this one is going to be the one I'm asking for, or maybe total number of international immigrants. I'm not sure, to be honest. Let's see this one, total number of international immigrants, to see if it's going to show us what we are searching for or not. But I think this is gonna like give you the same by current country of origin. It's showing you like the immigrants themselves, where they might, where the like migrated from this country. No, I think total number of international immigrants, it's going to show you that this country has immigrants, which means that it has refugees. So this is what we are searching for. So by going to select countries so that we can easily get the highest country, which is Europe, this is a continent, not a country. Also a continent. North America is continent. European Union, Northern America, United States. So basically, the United States is the one with the highest amount of immigrants, and we can see it from the dark color here. So the United States has the highest number of refugees, and to be honest, this makes sense because the whole idea of America or the United States is based on immigrants and diversity. You can also see from this line how it has been changing from one country to another, but we can't see the United States, so I'm going to edit countries and regions, and I'm going to choose the United States to be compared with them here. Now after choosing the United States, you can see that all these curves has been shifted downward, which means that United States have like this high gap between it and the other countries. So this shows that the United States is the highest country when it comes to immigrants or refugees. And this is how we are going to answer this question. So this is gonna be the United States. So basically, the United States has like three answers so far: the highest military expenditure, the largest exporter of goods, and the largest refugee population hosted within its borders. Now let's head to the next question, which is which country has the highest life expectancy and how does it compare globally? Let's just answer the first part. So going to the top, browse by topic. Let's see this life expectancy button. Then let's head to charts, life expectancy here. Let's choose this first chart. So after some questions, you can see that we are taking less time at each question because now we are getting used to the steps and how you can retrieve charts from this website. So basically now we have this map, and again we can select countries from here so that we can get a faster insight. I'm going to neglect these two first options because of this sign we talked about before, and the first one is Monaco. Here I don't know where this country exists, so I'm going to select it and choose zoom to selection to find where it exactly is. I'm not sure what it is because there are so many countries of this deep color, so going back and forth between these deep colored countries, I still can't find it. To be honest, I can't find it anywhere. It's difficult because there are so many countries of this deep color. This is why I can't find it here. So let me try to download this and ask like Gemini or something. So I'm going to download it as a PNG. And now I'm going to head to Gemini to ask it where is Monaco. Then I'm going to ask it where is Monaco in this image. It's writing Monaco is not explicitly visible or labeled. It's too small to be represented on a large-scale regional map of this resolution. The entire coastline of southern France where Monaco is located is filled with a uniform dark blue shade, so it exists around France. So it's in here, in this space. Here it is. I think I saw it. I think I saw it. Oh my god. Yeah, here it is. Here is Monaco. So if it's this small region, it's very small when I try to get it. It's a very small country, to be honest. So it's very weird to have like the ranking number one all around the world when it comes to life expectancy. And now after trying to find it again, I can't. It has just gone, but it was somewhere in, yeah, here it is. This is Monaco, as you can see. So if you found any problem struggling with the place or the existence of any of these countries, I think you can just download it from here and ask Gemini or any AI service. You can also see the line chart for the life expectancy in Monaco as time goes by. So now it's like 86.4 years. This is nice when it comes to the average life expectancy. So now I'm going to answer this question as Monaco and head to the next question. So the next question is asking which country has the highest internet penetration rate or share of population online. So let's see where we can find this type of information. It's definitely not here. Maybe innovation and technological change, I don't know. Let's try internet. Here we are. Then going to charts, number of people using the internet. This is what we are searching for. So I'm going to check this chart now. This is the worldwide people sharing internet. So in 2021 only, this is like outdated chart. Let's see then one next to it. Yeah, this is 2025. This is more recent. So we can see that the places where there is no people, not a lot of people are using the internet, are mostly in Africa, while the rest of the world are actually using the internet furiously, especially Asia, Europe, and Northern America. While when it comes to Africa, to Latin America, or yeah, Latin America, it's not like a huge population are using the internet. Going to select countries, you can see that the top is Bahrain. In Bahrain, 100% of people are using the internet. We also have Saudi Arabia, 100%. United Arab Emirates are 100% using internet. So basically it's like the Gulf of the Red Sea or the Arabian Gulf almost have like 100% coverage in internet and 100% of people using the internet. So there is not a single country for this question as an answer, but there are 3 countries which have the same exact percentage, which is the 100%. And we can also see, to be honest, I'm curious to know this answer. I will get these 3 countries and see how the internet progressed over the previous few years. So I'm going to line to check. So you can see that in 1995 it was almost like 0%, and it started raising rapidly in almost like 30 years until it nearly plateaued in 2018, 2019, and 2020. Then starting from 2021, all these countries have achieved 100% of population using the internet. So answering this question, I'm going to write three countries, which are Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. This leaves us to the final question, which is which country has the highest level of democracy score according to global democracy indices. I'm going to browse by topic for the final time. Let's see, and living conditions, community and well-being. No, human rights and democracy here. Democracy. Then charts. Democracy regimes. In the word, I don't know what it's going to measure. Let's just see what it's going to display. So it's basically the type of democracy. This is not what I'm searching for. Or we can use both scales, like the electoral democracy and liberal democracy. But I don't believe that there is like a parameter that is going to get them both together. If, for example, I chose Australia, it's going to show you that it's electoral democracy. But I also want the liberal democracy, so I'm going to just skip this one. Let's see the second short, electoral democracy index. So I think this one is going to be beneficial because it's speaking about one type of democracy, which is the electoral democracy. And now you can measure it based on which country has the highest percentage of electoral democracy, leaving the liberal democracy aside. So I'm going to check this one first, then I'm going to check this one as well, which is talking about the liberal democracy. So speaking about this one, we can see from select countries which one has the highest, which is the Denmark. So the Denmark has an index of 0.91. I'm going to open this one in a new tab to compare them both together and see which one has like the highest mixed score. So it's going to take like a while to compare both indices, since no other chart is going to be this accurate. So going to the second chart, which is talking about the liberal democracy, we have the Denmark as well as the highest. So it's not going to take a time at all. The Denmark is the highest when it comes to electoral democracy. Its index is 0.91, and to liberal democracy, its percentages or its index is 0.88. We're leaving Denmark as the answer to this question simply. So going to our Word file, this is the Denmark. And now we've got answers to 10 detailed geopolitic questions that we got. Of course, you remember how I was in the beginning of this video, and that I couldn't answer 2 simple questions on the quiz which is provided by Gapminder. But now we have answered 10 questions using illustrations, charts and drawings which looked very attractive and which were very simple to find without any effort. And this is how you can use our word in data simply. It's a powerful tool which will help you to learn all about geopolitics in an attractive and amusing way, not in theoretical and complicated way. Now I'm going to test our word in data when it comes to Gapminder tests. I'm not sure if it's going to make it or not, but let's just try. Let's open the migration test once more. So this question that we have answered wrong. In 1990, 3% of the world's population lived in different country than where they were born. What is the share today? Let's try to find the answer using our word in data. So I'm going to head to migration. Then I'm going to choose once more the migration in here. Then going to charts. So now we want the percentage of the total refugees, but this is going to show you the refugees by country. So let's see if there is an option to find the whole word. There is no option to find the whole word. Let's search for word, for example. There is no result. And if we went to the table, I'm not sure if I'm going to find word as well. It's not here. Going to line chart. No, there is nothing that we can get from this chart. Let's see this one. Select countries. Search for word. It's not here as well. Share of the population born in another country. No. I'm not sure if it's going to solve this question. Maybe it's paid for more direct questions. Total number of international immigrants. Let's search for select countries. Then word. Nothing. Maybe we can just choose, let's say, higher income countries and lower income countries and lower middle income countries, so that we have chosen. Let's choose all the selection which contain the word country, so that we have chosen all the selection. I'm not sure if this is what I'm doing is right or not, but let's see. We have, if we sum this population, for example, $207.27 plus 48.72 plus 33.3 plus 14.38. So this is the total number of people, of immigrants in the world. Now I need the current population, or the population in the same year. Since this one is describing 2024, I need to get another chart of the population in 2024. So I'm going to go to population, then population graph. Then I'm going to choose any of these charts. Population. So here we have the population as 8.09 billion. So I'm going, this is by million. So this is 0.304. I think this is 0.304 billion, because this was in million. If I divided this by 8.09 and I multiplied by 100%, it's going to give you 3.75. If we approximated it, it's going to be 4%. If we went to Gapminder and we chose the 4%, it's actually correct. So it's working. It's working, but you need to do some search when it comes to data. You will not find like everything you need in one chart or in one place, but you need to just get one data from a chart, another data from another chart, then keep like collecting the pieces together until you get the information you want. So let's try it in one more question. What share of countries in the world have laws against sexual harassment at work? Let's go to our charts once more. I'm not sure where I can find anything related to sexual harassment. living conditions, maybe. Nope. Human rights. Violence. Okay, maybe we can find it in human rights or in women rights, or let's see human rights. Then choosing shorts. No, this is gonna be hard to find, so I'm going to search it in this search bar. I'm going to search for sexual harassment. So I got this chart of share of the population victim to physical and sexual harassment, and it shows you all the countries. So I need something which is related to the whole world, but I don't think it's going to be available in here. And if I searched about the word, no. The question was related to what sort of countries in the world have laws against sexual harassment at work. So I'm searching about something different. I'm going to go back. Legislation, yes, that's it, on sexual harassment in employment. This one is the one I'm searching for. And this one as well may be handy. So I'm going to get this chart in a new tab. And here we go. So it gives you like yes or no based on whether this country has legislation on sexual harassment or not. So it's like a logic gate. You can see that all these countries have one value and some other countries have no value. So if we went to this no value, I need to find a number to group them, because it's not going to be reasonable to count each number. Going to the table, you can see that I need to download this data on Excel sheet so that I can identify which countries all entities. I'm going to download this, and I hope it's in Excel format. Let's see which format it is. Yeah, it's an Excel sheet. So I'm going to open this sheet, and I'm going to use a function to know which countries are counted as 1 and which are counted as 0. So these are all the countries, but there are duplicates, and to be honest, yeah, it's counting in years. So I just need each country to have like 1 year visible, which is what sort of countries in the world have laws against sexual harassment. Let's just keep it the most updated. So I need only 2023, since this is the one which is the most updated one. Yeah, we need just 2023. But this is gonna be like very hard, so let's first try to just use the data as it is, and let's just count. I will insert count if statement, and I'm going to insert all this range down to the bottom. There was a function that you can press so that it will get you like the end of the data, but I don't remember it, but this is gonna take like forever. So let me choose the range as the whole row, then the criteria to be equal 1. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. Something is wrong. I think I need to remove the equal. Yeah. So basically the number of counts of 1 is 2781. Now I'm going to click on count this, and I'm going to remove 1, which is the legislation. Then I'm going to divide this number by that number. I'm going to divide 2781 divided by 10206. I think it wanted like a percentage or something. Yeah, it wanted like a percentage, so I'm going to multiply this by 100%. So it's 27.2. The most approximate one is the 30%, which are the countries that have laws against sexual harassment, since we chose to count the number 1. So I'm going to click on around 30%, and it's wrong. So it didn't count this one right. So it's basically a good website and a handy website, but it's not like 100% handy when it comes to questions like this. But to be honest, I just used wrong criteria. I won't blame the website on this error, because you can see that we have duplicates. So I'm going to go to data. I think there was remove duplicates. Yeah, here we are. If I choose to remove duplicates and I choose to expand the selection, no duplicates found. This is strange. Let's try once more, but I think it's going to remove everything. It's not going to let me like have one per result. Wow. Yeah, I think we have, but the problem is that we have the oldest year, not the most recent year. So let's try to undo this and try to sort these ones. Let's try to choose sort and to sort based on the year. From home, I'm going to choose sort largest to smallest and expand the selection. Perfect. Now we have solved the problem. Now we have all of them sorted together. So I'm going to select all the countries until we end the first cycle of 2023. This is the end here. So now we have all the countries. We have 189 count, while we have only 150 sum, which means that 150 were counted as ones. So now I'm going to divide 150 by 189. Then I'm going to multiply by 100. It shows you like that 80% of the countries have laws against sexual harassment. So if we went back to this question, you will find that we had like 3 answers to it. Let's just try it again. That was this question. So we had 3 results: 30%, 50%, 70%, while our word in data showed us that the answer was 80% or 79%. Comparing it to to these results, you can say that the clearest or the most the nearest one to this answer, which is 79%, is technically the 70%, which is the right answer. So we like answered it in the wrong way because we miscalculated it using the Excel sheet. However, when we calculated it the right way, it answered the question on Gapminder correctly. But you also need to make work, and you also need to search. It's not going to give you the answer on a silver plate. You need to search, but everything is there on our Word in Data. So this was a quick guide and a quick review of our Word in Data, and to be honest, after this review I liked this website. It's very accurate and it's very comprehensive.